Hey everybody, welcome to Retro Gaming Revival Live, Facebook's #1 retro gaming community. Right, so who have we got with us this week? We've got NintendOlly.
Howdy, howdy.
OEB Dawbs.
Greetings.
Blunners.
Hello.
And our guest this evening, Analog Boy.
All right. And
resident contributor to our Facebook group. We are missing someone tonight. I can't quite figure out who it is. Any help with that?
-1%.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Something like that. Not important.
I'm sure he's watching.
I've heard the rumour he's got diarrhea. No,
those rumours aren't true.
He hasn't really.
I'm not joking.
Neil, we do miss you. Hope you're back next time, and let us know in the comments if you're watching this evening. Okay, so everyone had a good week?
Yeah, it's not been bad.
So. Yeah, not bad.
Not been bad. Could always be worse.
Definitely could always be worse. Okay, well, I'm glad everyone's had a good week. I'll quickly get on to our topics tonight. And the first topic is Resident Evil memories. And this is where I'm going to pass over to you, Simon. Being I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you're known as a bit of an expert on the Resident Evil games. So do you want to just give us a bit of a background of why you enjoy the Resident Evil games so much, and your early memories of those games?
Yeah, so I first sort of came across Resident Evil through Resident Evil 2. Way back when it was released. I didn't actually have a PlayStation then, but sort of had magazines because at the time I was sort of Game Boy and 64 and picked up, I think, computer and video games and magazines like that back then. So they had bits on Resident Evil 2. And then it wasn't until about a year later when I finally got a PlayStation. I got it sort of on the cheap with the bundle I got because I'd heard that, this great game, it's amazing. Put it in for the first time, absolutely hated it. Not gonna lie, I just could not get tank controls. I was used to playing like first person shooters, so I thought it was gonna be more action oriented. And just kind of played the first couple of screens and was like, oh, is this it? This game's gonna be amazing. So just chucked it to the side. And then it wasn't until sort of a little while later I got into Metal Gear Solid, and that just blew me away with the cinematics and just being so much like a movie. And I was telling the guy about it in school, and he was like, well, you should play the Resident Evil games if you like the cinematic effects. I was like, well, I've got Resident Evil 2 I can get into it. It's like, mate, get into it because you will love it if you love that sort of film experience. So I thought, all right, I'll give it another go. And gave it another go and just went into it line and sinker. Once I got past those first couple of screens and realised that it's actually not all about just shooting everything you see. You've actually got to be a bit more clever with it. I was like, okay. And then once you start finding files and then you start unraveling this kind of mystery, as it were, you're like, that really kind of put me in, especially when you kind of learning about the story through the files. So I thought that's a really cool kind of addition, which you never really come across in games. Normally it's like you get cutscenes. You're not building the story as you go through things you find along the way. And that was 22 years ago, and still love that game as much as I did back then.
Cool. What about the rest of you guys? What are your memories of Resident Evil? I played the first one, and all my main memory of that is the horrible door scenes, the horrible camera angles, the
voice acting.
The voice acting, yes.
What is it? I first played Resident Evil on PC. Believe it or not, I didn't have a PlayStation for a little while, and I remember my dad getting a PC, the first PC we got, and a couple of the games that we got with it was we managed to get like a big box PC version of Resident Evil, and I remember crapping my pants basically for a lot of it. The first time you see that moment where you go through the corridor and then there's that cutscene where the zombie's eating somebody and you hear the clack and the blood splay on the floor and then the head turns around and look. Yeah, Yeah, filled my trousers. Definitely terrified. And it was kind of hooked from. Well, I say hooked. Very much enjoyed all the games from there. I think Resident Evil 2 is probably my favourite of that series on the original PlayStation. Probably on PS2 and 360 as well. I'd probably say it is probably my favourite Resident Evil. Yeah, Resi 2, best music in all the games as well.
For me, I like you're saying exactly the same. I forget when I first played it, and it was absolutely scary. And a bit when he comes through, smashes through the window, but I was just absolutely weren't good enough. Just a little kid really at a time, and just kept dying constantly. But then once the remake came out on the GameCube, I think it did. Loved that and picked up Zero as well on there. So then I looked at is it Code Veronica, and I didn't really understand what was going on because it wasn't like a mainline, the mainline Resi games.
Yeah,
so I couldn't
Code
find
Veronica.
what the hell was going on with it at that time.
Code Veronica was meant to be the sequel to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be the direct sequel, and it's always been pegged that way. But during the development with Resident Evil Nemesis, they decided very late on, because the Resident Evil Nemesis was meant to be this action-oriented game involving the mercenaries, something a little bit different, a bit of a spin-off, and then right at the last minute, with about 3 months left before release, they said, "Oh, can you shoehorn Jill Valentine in there and turn it into a main series game?" And they were like, "Yeah, we can try." And yeah, that's pretty much how Nemesis came about. And it ended up being sort of Resident Evil 3, because they wanted to keep the numbers to PlayStation to make it less confusing. But yeah, Code Veronica was always meant to be that next step that follows the continuity of Claire from Resident Evil 2, Chris from Resident Evil, and carrying on their story. But yeah, it's never quite sold as much as it was on Dreamcast.
How about you, Dawbs? What are your memories of Resident Evil?
Yeah, I played the first one. The only thing that sticks out is what Ollie mentioned earlier with the cutscene. And then also there's a bit where you go into a corridor and these crows smash through a window.
Yeah.
I've got more memories of Resident Evil 2. I played a demo of that and absolutely loved it. And then when it got released, I got it from Toys R Us for 50 quid on release day. I remember it come with 2 CDs, one for Leon and one for Claire, which is pretty cool. I remember watching the intro video, which at the time I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! This can't get any better than this. Is the pinnacle." And you just watch it now, it's like, yeah, not too great. I remember I've actually written some notes here, so I'm going to go through them. So this may take some time. But if you got to the police station without collecting any items, Brad Vickers was downstairs in like a gangway, and then if you killed him, you got a special key which allowed you to unlock some, I think it was some additional costumes.
Yeah.
I remember something about that.
The big one for... Oh, no, go on, dude. I'll let you finish.
All right. The trunks, remember the trunks, where you just basically stored an item, and then I don't think this technology exists, but you put it somewhere, and then you go to a completely different area, and you open up the trunk, and
there it is. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's
magic.
It's brilliant. Yeah, massive police station. Very weirdly laid out, with a stupid key system. I mean, if there was a fire, let's face it, you're dead.
There's also no toilets in that building either.
There's your shower room.
Yeah.
So I suppose you can go in the shower if you're desperate. Also, there's another cutscene where you go into a corridor and then you see the liquor on the ceiling, which then comes down. I remember watching that and being amazed.
Yeah.
I crapped myself the first time I did that.
Yeah, unbelievable. I remember a big crocodile. I remember spiders. They used to freak me out when you was I think it was in the sewers, and you saw the spiders.
Yeah.
And then walking around. What else? Is it Sherry?
Yeah.
When you're Claire and you have to go with Sherry, I found her so annoying. I just wanted to shoot her.
Yeah, she's as annoying as Natalia from Goldeneye.
Honestly.
Oh God.
Just every time I got to that bit, it's like, oh, not again. I used to do my head in. The typewriter, when you saved it, I used to like the noises it made. The
Yeah, the savouring music as
What
well.
noises? What noises? What noises were they?
What else?
The big one in
whole series
Resi
of
2
games.
for me was I can't remember where or how I cannot remember how you unlocked it. I've got a guide upstairs. There we go. Tim Morgan's just literally stolen it there.
Yes.
Getting to unlock the block of tofu.
Yeah, you have to. It's something like you have to complete the A scenario and then the B scenario like 3 times in a row with an A ranking or a B. I think it's A ranking.
Right.
You have to do that.
And is it Hank or Hunk?
Hunk? It's meant
Originally,
it's meant to be Hank, but the Japanese translation kind of screwed it up and it ended up as Hunk, and quality control wasn't what it is now, so they just left it to that.
I never get the name. But I think what I remember most fondly is the same as the first one. It's just a terrible acting, just awful. It's like, here, take this gun.
So
okay, it's awful.
There's
But
a genuine reason.
I love the games.
Yeah, there's a genuine reason in that first game why that is the voice acting is the way it is. It's because at the time there was no real games that had voice acting, and Resident Evil, Capcom side, they wanted to do it, but they didn't really have a budget. So what they planned to do was essentially they just hired any English-speaking person, English with their native language, that were in Japan at the time or Tokyo at the time when they were making the game. So they just essentially, can you speak English? Yes, right. Come to this studio at this time and read some words. And they didn't have a native English speaker directing or anything like that. They're all Japanese. It's all very basic. And the idea was that because the game wasn't going to have any kind of Japanese dub, they needed to keep the words as simple as possible, so the Japanese folk who learn English from an early age would understand it. Which is why you have stupid lines like, here, take this. And then Joris responds, okay, I will take this then. And, oh, look, a monster. And it's like, because the Japanese people, they'll understand that. So essentially that's why the voice acting in the game is so bad. It's not because, like, Barry gets all the worst lines in the entire thing. His are just horrendously bad and hilarious at the same time. I don't think I've got a book that kind of goes into it a little bit, and I don't think he actually knew he was in a game until about 15 years later. Until someone tracked him down for an interview, and he's like, "I'm what now?" And stuff like, "Yeah, you've been part of this video game series that's gone down in history like the last 15 years or something."
Wow,
it is cracking. The one I think it's on a newer console, but you were talking. I think Ollie mentioned earlier about Resident Evil on GameCube with Zero. They released the Origins collection on PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
And that was great because it's just like a nice HD port. I'm pretty sure that the Resident Evil is just an HD port of the GameCube one, which was, in some ways a vastly superior version to the original. But yeah, you can't beat those original ones.
Yeah,
And anyone played it's not a retro game, but has anyone played the VR version of Resident Evil?
The Resident Evil 7.
Yeah,
I can't even find a zombie on it before I take my headset off. I just can't do it.
It was one of the games that sold the VR headset to me. I know it's not retro, and we tangented it, but one of my mates picked it up. So we took Resident Evil 7 over to his house, booted it in, put the headset on, and I was just completely sold on VR at that point. The walking into the house and walking around, it was like walking into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was just, I could not believe it. It's genuinely quite a terrifying experience.
I had the demo, and you look down, your hands are tied, and you see something like in the background, like run across, and then it just jumps on your head, and she just pulls a knife out, and you're just like, whoa, okay, I'll be getting that. That's amazing. It was very good.
Well, we could talk about Resident Evil all night, but and I'm sure we'll get some more questions during the evening. And don't forget, Simon's here to answer any questions that you've got. As I said, he is an expert on Resident Evil. But we'll just go to a quick break and then get to our next topic. Okay. So, recent retro gaming pickups. I'm going to hand this over to you guys because I haven't brought anything since we last met. So, who wants to start? Who's
Well, I
got
can
something?
if you want. I'm saying, well, I've been after this for ages, but it's going to take a while. It is an American SNES. You can see it, but the colour is so bad. It's like ashtray, but that's going to take me a while to clean that
Ashtray
bad boy
yellow.
up. And the other one I picked up is that version, which has got all the screws in there. If you can't hear it, is the SNES Junior. Picked them both up for under 30 quid, but I'm thinking they're going to need some. I'm just going to have to completely take them apart and have a look and see what's actually underneath, because to be honest, I think the Junior one is broken by the sound of it, but let's have a look at some point. But yeah, that's what I've picked up.
Excellent.
Awesome.
I've picked up 2 games. One I am going to class as retro because it's 2 systems ago, and I think that technically counts as retro. So one of my friends in America, Adam Agro, sent me a copy of Telltale's Jurassic Park, the game, because I'm a physical
Very nice.
media person, need the physical copy, and now your Xbox One is completely region free for all NTSC 360 games as well, so that's always good. And the other one I picked up was the American version of a game that I got rid of many years ago and regretted, but the price on this was just so unbelievably under market value. But like I say, it is the American version.
Yars Revenge.
Close. With the movie coming out this Friday, it's Mortal Kombat Trilogy
Mortal
on
Kombat.
N64.
No.
That
I
looks
have to say,
mint. That does.
New
Wow,
movie looks quite cool, actually.
It does look very good.
Does it very cool. But yeah, that Mortal Kombat Trilogy can go. I have seen it on the PAL version go for upward of £100 at the moment, and I did not pay anywhere near that for the American one. I think I got a bit of a steal, to be honest.
But that box looks mint, though, Ollie.
Yeah.
The protector gives it a bit of an edge. It's got some normal sort of shelfware on the box and whatnot. Again, the cart manual are pretty immaculate, but yeah, like I say, it was under 20 quid on a random 2 o'clock in the morning bid. So I was dead happy with
Does
that.
it still make you jump when that man pops up when you're
Oh,
playing
yeah.
it? Every time.
Used to be on Super Nintendo, hit down and start, and it would take you to fight Smoke.
Awesome. How about you, Dawbs?
Yeah, I picked up a NES a few weeks back. Picked up a Super Nintendo as well from eBay, and I picked up an N64 as well. And I've tested them all, and they're all working good. So I may start picking up some games as I go, but just have to wait and see. But they're quite expensive, some of them.
Yeah,
but it's just nice to have the consoles, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still in that period, aren't we, where just everything retro is just mega money at the moment. Even the crap stuff that there's thousands of cartridges of, it's still, people are just lapping it up at the moment. No idea why. But yeah, there's a couple of good sort of N64 bundles on Facebook Marketplace sometimes to be had, mainly because if they're cart only, the people can't charge an absolute fortune for them. But yeah, there's a lot of cracking N64 games.
I still remember.
Chex is now open as well.
Oh, sorry, Dawbs.
So it's good that Chex has reopened. So
yes.
Took a trip down there.
Or CEX, as normal people call it.
Chex.
I think they pronounce it sex on the advert.
Are we not past 9 o'clock yet, are we? No.
No, we're not. I still remember a colleague who I work with who's sort of must be mid-20s holding an N64 controller for the first time and being like, what do I do with this? I don't know if you were there, Ollie, when he done that, but it's just brilliant.
I don't think I was. I can't remember. Don't think I was, but that controller, man, it's still revolutionary. Absolutely revolutionary.
I love it. I love the N64.
I love it as well, yeah. So
it's comfortable, isn't it? It's when you just held it in your hand for that first time. It was, love it. I still think it's one of the best controllers. That and the Dreamcast controller.
Nice. Right, Simon, you've got something exciting to show us.
Well, I don't know if it's exciting, but came through the post the other day. So,
Dawbs, I don't know if you're going to be happy about this.
Well, since Simon's
I
wallet.
don't think we discussed
It's
it.
a spin-off series.
Just phoning my lawyers. Hang on.
So we've got where's my camera?
Oh.
Crush Hour. Can't even
Awesome.
get, there we are.
This-
There we are.
that's it.
There you
Crush
go.
Hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown, amazing.
Your mouth.
That's the best wrestling
Yeah,
game.
this is a great game. I've never actually played Crush Hour, but it looked kind of sort of interesting. But yeah, see how they go.
Awesome. I love
That's
a
right.
wrestling game.
That is right up the other people's alley, that one.
Yes.
Definitely. I do love a wrestling game. And we've had Neil comment, picked up an original Mega Drive 1 in fantastic condition and finally got a Master System controller. Check it out on Retro Gaming Revival Facebook page. Neil's posted pictures. It looks a decent bit of kit that he's picked up there. I know he's been looking for a Mega Drive for a while. So yeah, check it out on the Facebook page.
Just
There's anyone else?
I was going to say,
of course.
before we switch topics, this might be a good one because we're talking about retro stuff. We're going to talk about retro stuff all night, but this might sort of slide it into a topic here. If we sort of give a shout out to one of the groups that we've been chatting to today.
Yeah, go ahead, Ollie.
So we're going to give a shout out to a Facebook page called ColecoVision World. So anyone out there that is big into collecting for ColecoVision or just wants to know a little bit more about what ColecoVision is, the type of system it is, and sort of anything about it, if you go onto their Facebook page, which I believe is just ColecoVision World, they seem like a really bunch of people over there. So yeah, jump on over and go and see what they're all about.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got Aaron, who I think's the admin on the page. He'll be joining us in 4 weeks, I think, on a live stream. I don't actually know what ColecoVision is, so I'd be nice to learn what it is and find out a bit more about that system. Now it's time for everyone's favourite part of the show. An intro before last week, but I forgot. Now it's time for what's in OEB Dawbs' box.
Yep, so let me just pick it up. As you see, now still going strong.
Amazing.
Right. So just put that down there. So are you familiar with this, Simon? Obviously, take
yes.
it a while.
Yeah.
Cool. So they got 20 questions. I've got a retro item. So it could be a game, console, peripheral, manual, etc. And they got 20 questions and they've got to guess what it is, basically. You know, I can just answer yes or no. But I've actually left my notepad and pen in the other room, so I won't be able to count the questions. So I'll have to do it on my fingers and toes. So, yeah, shoot.
Right, Simon, do you want to start as the guest?
Yeah, can do. I'm just gonna go straight in there and see if it's fairly relevant this week. Is it European Super League for the PlayStation 1?
Is it what?
European Super League for the PlayStation 1.
Is it, no.
It was worth a shot. It was worth a
It
shot.
was relevant, though. It was relevant.
It would have been legendary as well if that had just absolutely
one
knocked
hit. I've just left the stream. Done. Turn it off. It's like
Mic drop.
Okay. Is it a game?
Yes.
Is it from the 90s?
I'm not sure, actually. Come back to that one. Come back to that one.
Is it a cartridge?
No.
Is
Go
it?
on, Simon.
It's not a 90s game. It's not a 90s
okay.
game.
Is it an 80s game?
No.
Is it a PS2 game?
Yes.
Oh.
We narrowed it down to the system.
Yeah.
Only about 5,000 games on that system.
I know. Is it a sports game? You said no, didn't you?
No.
Is it a dance game?
No.
Oh, after Britney last time.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Is it a survival horror game?
Yes.
Is it a Resident Evil survivor horror game?
Do you know what? That's a very good question. I was going to pick Resident Evil 2, but I thought it'd be too obvious. But no, it's not. It's not Resident Evil.
Okay, if it's survival horror,
What's the other one?
it's not going to be anything mega expensive unless you had it in your collection already.
Ooh, is that a question?
Ooh.
No,
What's
that's a
Silent-
statement.
what's
That's a
is it Silent-
statement.
Is it Fahrenheit?
No, that's 11. Got 9
It's
left.
me out now. I've got no other games.
Silent Hill.
Is it something that's very expensive? As in,
Something that's
very expensive as in it costs more than 50 quid if you're buying it on eBay.
no, definitely not.
Survival horror. PS2.
Did you answer Ollie's one about being a Silent Hill title?
Yeah, yes, I did. It's not.
It's not Silent Hill. Not Resident Evil.
Is it
Yeah.
Project Zero?
No. You've got 7 questions left, so get thinking.
I mean, we're literally just going to be guessing survival horror games now at this rate, aren't we? So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if
Someone's
this
guessed Haunting Ground.
that is
No.
quite expensive.
No, it's good guess, but no, it's not.
It's a good game as well. Is it Manhunt?
Oh no. You've got 4 left.
Is it
Manhunt.
Dino Stalker?
No,
Alone in the Dark.
no. Got 3 left.
Oh, mate,
Seriously?
we're so close. We've got it down to console and like flipping.
I know.
And there's not
I thought you were
that.
getting-
We've said all the main survival horror series as well. Can't think of
Yeah.
any.
Have you?
Well, clearly not, because you've
Yeah.
you've
Not
got it in your
really.
box.
Not missed.
Neil,
Is it The
Neil's asked a
Suffering?
question. Is it? Sorry.
The Suffering.
No. You got 2 left.
Is it Manhunt 2?
No.
Manhunt.
You got 1 left. This is obviously the pivotal question here.
It's got to
Right.
be a guess if we ask a question.
What's he got in the background?
Is it?
Resident Evil 2.
Is it?
Make it a good one. This is our last question.
Is it obscure?
Ooh.
It's going to say no, and he's egging it out, and it's
I would say no.
no. I
No,
mean,
it's
it's,
a game
Resident Evil 2,
title.
isn't it?
Oh, is it? Is that a total? Oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. That's your 10. That's your 20 even.
Go on.
I thought you'll get this. Let me just reach into the box. I thought you'll get this because you read
Seriously?
the genre straight away, but it's actually The Thing.
Ah,
Thing.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
kidding
The
me.
Thing, which is one of my favourite films.
it is a good
Well,
movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot. I have played that as well. I have.
So-
It's brilliant.
So you know
It's
that's
really
another
good.
question we can add to the initial question list now. Is it a movie tie-in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh mate. Oh, I feel like we were like within kissing distance of that one,
You
but
were so close because I was going to be generous and give you a clue and say it's based on a film, but I thought that would give it away. But I was expecting him to probably come out with like an Alien game or something, Alien Trilogy or Aliens.
yeah.
But no, The Thing. So there it is, $1.99.
Bargain.
I'm sure it's very, very good.
Excellent. Do you know
Awesome.
I have not played that game.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's brilliant. It's really good. It's really good.
It looks really good.
Is it a
Yeah, it
tie-in
is.
to the movie, or is it sort of like as a sequel or anything, or do
more of
you
like
actually play as
the-
Kurt Russell?
Yeah, it's more of
No,
like the. Did they redo it?
You're Captain Blake, apparently.
Right.
So I don't know who that is. But no, it's not. I don't think it's based on the first one. Whether it's based on a prequel or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it.
I would have thought so.
prequel
This is
redo or something.
2002. This is 2002, so I think the prequel's 2011.
Yeah. Excellent.
Awesome. Well, another excellent segment of what's in OEB Dawbs box. Look forward to that next time. Okay, so now we move on to the RG351P panel game choice review. So regular viewers will know that as a panel, unfortunately Neil's not here this week, we pick games, sometimes obscure games, on the RG351P, and we have to play them and then come on here and give them a review. So I'm going to start with you this week, Ollie. Simon, feel free to chip in if you've played any of these games in the past or know anything about them. But Ollie, I'm going to start with you.
Me or Blunners?
NintendOlly.
Okay. So Ryan gave me the delightful choice of Action 52 on the Mega Drive, which is 52 of your... I mean, you could lie and just be like, it's 52 incredible titles. What a value for money that game must have been when you get your Mega Drive for Christmas and your parents give you Action 52 to go with it. I mean, I think that would have been punishable by setting fire to the house, if I'm honest. Yeah, the game is dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Not that the games are unplayable; they're just dreadful. So I didn't play all 52 because I'm not playing 52 of those types of games. So I figured I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick ones that have got fun names. There was one on there that I knew I was definitely going to play because AVGN did an episode on it, and I really wanted to play Cheetahman. So I'll get to that one at the end. So first game I tried was called Ooze. That was pretty bad. It was just lots of stuff falling from the ceiling, and you're just jumping from one platform to another. You couldn't jump and shoot. You would fall through things that looked like you could stand on them. One hit and you're dead. It was a pretty miserable experience, I have to say. Next one I tried was Daytona, the racing game that I think you'd recommended.
A brilliant game.
Probably, I mean, it's possibly the best one that I played, albeit there's just an accelerate button, and it literally, and on every game as well, it's the same voice, and it just says level 1. And then you start, and I push the accelerate button, and there's no music in Daytona. And as soon as you push the accelerator button, all you hear is, and that's it. That is all you hear until you get round, and that's it. So, that was a racing game. There was one called Haunted Hill. I think it was like their take on a horror type game. Again, it was like Ooze. You couldn't jump and wield your weapon, which was a flaming torch. You couldn't duck and hit things. There were things that you would lower than your hit radius, so you again one hit and you're dead. Alien Attack. I mean, I did one go at that and realised that no, I'm not even going to continue with that, because as soon as your character would run, the screen normally when you get about halfway, so like here, the screen will then move with you. Whereas my character got to like here, and then the screen would move, and then you'd sort of the screen would go, and you're dead. You'd hit something and you wouldn't be able to see what it was some of the times. Knockout, boxing game where the other character didn't move or punch. So you just stood there and just punched this guy until he fell out. I think I did 8 rounds of that and went, right, okay, well, I think I've experienced all that has to offer. And then, yeah, Cheetahman. Good grief. From what I know about Action 52, which is not a great deal, I seem to remember that Cheetahman was their game. That was the one they really wanted to push hard. And at one point, there were plans to have toys, comic books, potentially even an animated series based off of this thing. And it is literally cheetahs in karate costumes. And that's it.
What?
And it's weird. It's really weird, but it follows the same mechanics as all of the other platformers in Action 52. One hit, you're dead. Hit detection, dreadful. Can only punch high, can't punch low. And all of the enemies in all of the platformers get recycled. So there was a bat in Cheetahman that you'd fight, which was the same bat that was in Haunted Hill. And yeah, I have to say, mate, even though the games are playable, as in you can play them, they are pretty bad. So if anybody wants to play that on your RG351P, go for it. It's there's 50 games there, 52 games, bit of a bargain. Or if you want to play it on the
to me there.
Well, I do try, and we did have a quick look on eBay, didn't we, to see what
God.
how much if you wanted to play it on original hardware. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but Action 52 on the Genesis, €225. So there you go. If you want it on original hardware,
Bargain.
there you go.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
Shocking.
I think it's quite clear that you didn't pick the best games. There's 52 games on there, and you clearly picked the worst ones.
Well, I mean, the rule of average says I should have at least played one. Yeah, I'd say not unplayable, but yeah, funny to play and think, Christ, someone would have bought this brand new at some point and gone, wow, 52 games.
But then at €225, they're laughing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, shocking.
Well,
Right? So yeah, cheers for that.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had Chase HQ to play, arcade game, which less than 1% Neil picked for me. I'm sure most of you have played Chase HQ in the past. I didn't really get it, what I was supposed to be doing. I understood I was chasing someone and I was trying to blow up their car, but as soon as I hit them, they just drove off again. It's either I'm really bad at games or I just didn't understand it. But graphically, really good. The sound effects were really good. It's obviously like a classic arcade game that a lot of people have played in the past. I would recommend it. I'm just not very good at games, to be honest. So it was a bit too difficult for me. I need a game like Action 52, I think. a bit more simple. But yeah, it was a good game, and I'd recommend people watching to give it a go if you've got an RG 351p. So I'm going to now pass over to you, Blunners, for the game that you played.
The game I got was Hook on the SNES. That was from NintendOlly, but I ended up getting the English version of the ROM. But and straight away the music is really good. It could go. It's quite 8-bit tune where it's sounding. But you're going through and then you're using like a sword to like stab anything in sight that comes near you, basically. So like. And then it's got like a really strange like flying mechanic. So you have to like basically get like your pixie dust, I think it is. Get your height and then press the button and then you can go up for a bit before it starts to drop down. It took me a while to get used to, just to quickly work out like the controls, especially when you go under the water in the first world. But before I knew it, I'd literally done half the game. So
it's
some of the levels,
isn't it?
Yeah, some of the you have like a little like boss at the end of each game, end of each level as well. On most of the levels, there's one when you're in the woods and you just wait for him to poke out and you just like knife him. But it's like it's a bit weird, like I mean, it's a kid's game. And basically everything you're doing is pulling a knife and trying to hit something that's coming towards you. But yeah, then there's a bit you having to like float around this like, and I ended up like because you get hit and you'd start losing your lifelines. You only have like a couple, but I was managed to bank a load, get to this flying bit, and then ended up just getting hit, getting invincible for a bit, quickly trying to run to the platform before I would die, kind of thing. But I ended up getting over halfway on it. But it's all right, but it is tough in parts. It's not an easy game by any means.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's one of those games. Sorry, dude, I keep talking over you.
So I would recommend it to anyone just have a quick go on it. But I think the one on the RG was Japanese, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up finding the European version.
Yeah,
but nice. It was alright.
It's a childhood favourite, that one, and again, it's one that back in the day I just would always trade my games in, and I bitterly regret getting rid of that one again because the original cart for that game now, PAL with a box, is again 120 quid now. But I do remember it being very punishing as a kid. But it's just the controls are a bit sluggish, but it's weird. I do have a real love for that one.
Cool. And Dawbs, what were you tasked with playing? I can't remember.
Rugrats on the Game Boy Advance.
Big title.
How do I explain it? Just crap. Dreadful. Started off all right. There's a couple of carnival games you think you play, so you sort of chuck things at these dudes, and then it's sort of like a Mario 3 rip-off because you've got like a view of the map and you select where you want to go, and then you click on that particular section, and then you start off, and it's a platform game, and then you go up and down tubes. So I just thought it was a bit of a Mario 3 rip-off, but obviously it's a lot worse than that. A lot worse.
Who do you play as? Tommy, Chucky?
I played as Tommy, and then Chucky.
Was it the twins?
Yeah,
Phil and Lil.
Phil and Lil, that's it.
There's also
Angelica.
there's another baby. So obviously Tommy's had a little brother.
Has he?
He was in it. But yeah, I only played it for about 10 minutes, and I just thought it was a load of rubbish.
Baba.
Chucked it away.
It's because I saw you had it on the N64. Thought you'd quite enjoy that.
Oh, it's a different one. It's a different game.
Yeah, I know. So.
The N64 is that's an amazing game, but the Game Boy Advance wasn't great. I'll give it 2 out of 5.
Cool. And we've got Neil's joined us in the chat. Less than 1% Neil. I tried to play mine, but I'm not fluent in Japanese, so I don't know if that's a glowing review or not, to be honest.
I seem to remember some of the screenshots that Neil put up of that one in the chat that we've got. I remember thinking, God, the graphics look all right for the. Was it
graphics? Yeah.
Is it a Game Boy Advance game?
No, it's on the Wonder, whatever it is.
Oh, Wonderswan.
Wonderswan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of it, and I really enjoyed it. It's it's one of these games where you make a choice and it affects something later on. So I like those sort of games, but I really enjoyed it. I'll give it probably 4.5 out of 5.
I was going to say 5 out of 5.
How about you, Si? Have you played any of these games in the past?
No. I've heard of most, but no, I've not actually played them. Not some Action 52. I'll be honest on that one. That one's might leave that. Might try Hook.
Well, definitely. Anyone watching, and you're interested in an RG351P, which comes preloaded with these brilliant games, then we've got a treat for you now. So you who missed that, if you use the code RetroRevival at droik.net on an RG351P, you will receive 10% off the price of the system, which I'm sure we'll all agree that's a brilliant deal. Not plug-in Droik, but Droik are an excellent company. The RG351P is an excellent handheld. I just want to put a disclaimer, and we're not paid in any way to advertise Droik, but we just want to share that discount code with you all. Okay, so on to the next topic, which is always a interesting topic on this webcast, is the Evercade, and they're launching something called the Evercade VS on, is it Friday? I think it's Friday they're releasing it. Simon, I don't know if you're an Evercade owner or you know anything about the Evercade.
Only from the group. I've never owned an Evercade. No. It sounds like a interesting idea, but ultimately, not for me, that one. The idea of cartridges sounds great, but there's just better ways of doing things now in terms of like the emulation. That's more where I'm at with the emulation now. Just building your own everything to your own liking, really.
Yeah, it's. Does anybody actually know what the VS is yet?
No, I actually thought when I saw that pop up, I thought it was Evercade Versus, and there's going to be a segment where it's like Evercade takes on.
Evercade Versus.
Like, who's Evercade against this week?
There's discussion, isn't there, that some people think it might be a cable, or someone said it might be a cable, just to connect it to your other. Yeah, Ben, you said it a couple of times, haven't you? That it's going to be like a Game Boy Link cable, so you can plug it into somebody else's Evercade, and you can do two-player. And literally taking the term VS and meaning it is like versus. But I mean that would be hilarious. But maybe it would work for some of the games. I don't know. I just it's weird, isn't it? It's difficult to speculate about something when you literally know nothing about it. There's been no there's no, I don't know. There's been no hype created about it other than through other people. and there's a lot of people out there that do like the Evercade, so they sort of create their own hype around it because they're excited because something new's coming out, and that's cool. But it would be great if the company was sort of doing, we're in the era now where people do like teaser trailers for albums and teaser trailers for teaser trailers. There's every company's now trying to like tease you and get your attention straight away, and it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. This to kind of, I don't know, do like a countdown of something over the course of the week to build up to this thing. Whereas most of us just like, it will come out Friday and we'll go, oh, unless it is something pretty cool. If it's something pretty cool, then I'll eat my words. And I hope it's something cool because, I like cool stuff.
Someone said it could stand for Evercade vertical screen, maybe. So
yeah, maybe
for the arcade games coming out, might be better to play them on a vertical screen.
There's arcade games coming out?
No.
Apparently.
I mean, you'd have thought they'd have at least teased that by now as well, because I mean, again, that is something I would, if there was a good selection of classic MAME arcade games like we played on your Raspberry Pi like a little while ago now, but I always wanted to complete Simpsons the arcade game, and I remember sitting down at your house, Ryan, and we just played through it. It was like, oh, this is like a childhood dream complete now. I've completed Simpsons arcade game. And I still don't think there is a way to physically own that on a console unless you get like the Amiga version, which doesn't look anything like the arcade. So if they were to like capitalize on some of these like really good MAME arcade games that supposedly could work on this system, I'd probably buy one. If I'm completely honest, if that was one of the ways I could physically own some of these games and play them quite happily, I would potentially own one, an Evercade, which is scary to sort of say, but but yeah, there's nothing that grabs me. The Atari stuff's cool, but I don't want to pay 50 quid for 60 quid for a handheld just to play Atari games, because I don't. There's got to be something. This has got to be something. Yeah, but yeah, vertical screen could be if it's for the MAME stuff, the arcade stuff.
I know a few of you think it might be a link cable so they can play 2-player, hence the versus.
Mm-hmm.
Other people think it might be a home console with 2 controllers, which the cartridges work on. Would there be a market for that when you can?
That'll take ages to come out.
Yeah, and you can plug an Evercade into a telly anyway. So why would you?
So, yeah.
Again, it's just a weird one. I don't know why you'd bring out a home console when your handheld's doing fine. I don't know what the sales figures are because I don't deep dive into the system because it's not for me. But clearly there are people out there that like it. There's a lot of people that talk about it quite positively. So I don't see why you'd bring out something to kind of take away from that revenue, if that makes sense. Like, why take away from the handheld that people seem to really like and enjoy by replacing it with a home console? Don't know. It just seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it could be a better screen on it. So, because the screen lets the Evercade down.
Vita screen, maybe. Vita screen.
Yeah, that's a good shout there, Ryan. That could very well be it. Because the screen it's not fantastic, but I think that's probably what keeps that price point down, isn't it? It keeps it at that
definitely
competitive thing. But if there are people out there that would like the better screen and are willing to pay for it, then yeah, that could be good, could be interesting. But yeah, I don't know what else VS could stand for. I'm sure
anyone else want to?
I don't have a clue what it would be. Really. I was just thinking a link cable, like you were saying earlier. Old school Game Boy link up.
We'll find out in less than 48 hours time. So.
Oh yeah, on the edge of my seat, mate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm quite excited about it.
Gonna lose sleep over this one.
Oh, I am definitely. I'll be logged in at 9 o'clock hitting F5. Is that the refresh button?
There you go. Anyone from Evercade is listening though, if they want to make me buy one, MAME arcade stuff, let's get it going. I will buy one if it works.
We had a suggestion here, vertical sync. Probably not.
Don't know. No idea.
It could just stand for versus 2-player, couldn't it? And we're reading too much into this.
Yeah. Well, let's just see. Let's see what Friday brings.
But can you imagine the disappointment or the hype if it is just a cable? Can you imagine?
Just amazing.
Do you know that some people will get very excited over the fact there's a cable, and
they'll be very proud of that cable.
Yeah, but to be fair, you know, if you've got a mate and you've both got an Evercade link, but it's such an old-fashioned thing to do now, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, we were doing that at school with our Game Boys 25 years ago.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, and to be bringing that technology back. I know retro's cool at the moment, but that's going too far. Just Bluetooth. You know, the Nintendo DS you could do over Bluetooth, couldn't you, or wireless or whatever. And you only needed the one cartridge, and you could play games against each other. Yeah, which I always thought was really like groundbreaking at the time. Because you know, one of your mates had Mario Kart, and then 3 or 4 of you could jump in on it. I know you couldn't pick all the characters, all the tracks, but you could all play Mario Kart together on your own handheld. Which you know, and if this is just a lead, plug in 2 Evercades together, then that's yeah. Sorry,
that'd be amazing.
Not for me.
What was the latest? What was the latest cartridge announcement? Because that's something they normally build up a bit of hype over a week for, don't they? And they're like, "Oh, a new cartridge getting announced." That gets people quite excited. What was the latest cartridge announcement?
Not too bad actually. Mega Cat Studio 2.
Okay.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, Mega Cats 2. Yeah.
Mega Cats 2 and Mega Cat Studio stuff is actually pretty good. I don't know if anyone else who hasn't had an Evercade has played any of their like original releases on Mega Drive and SNES and NES and things, but the games they've picked, they all look like puzzle games. Every single one of them is a puzzle game, so there will be a market for that. Like the Pico cartridge 2 that they've just brought out, it's got all football games on it, and the only platform game on it I think is Soccer Kid. So you know, that's for me, that cartridge.
Yeah,
you know. But then you, Ollie, NintendOlly, you'd look at that and think, nah, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, football games have got zero interest in me unless, and I'll be completely honest, unless it's 2-player. If it's a 2-player game that I can play with someone, then I find it enjoyable because it's a fun thing. But yeah, playing football games on my own, that's just doesn't sound like fun to me.
And you used to play Pro Evo. I seem to recall playing Pro Evolution Soccer against you, and you were actually fairly decent at it.
Yeah, one of my housemates, when I lived in a shared house back in the day, one of my housemates had a lot of Pro Evo games, and that was our thing. We do like on a Friday, Saturday night. If we weren't going out, we'd just get a couple of beers and take out food and just play Pro Evo all night. So it was, but like I say, football with 2 players, good fun. You can yell obscenities at each other and have a laugh. But yeah.
We had the old,
that's kind of cool.
Multi-tap. You know, the multi-tap thing you can get from 4 players. We had that. That brilliant.
Well, that Sega one I put in the chat the other week.
Yes.
Yeah,
we never seen it before.
Remember at college, I used to bring my PlayStation 1 into college a couple of times a week. Our tutor used to let us hook it up to his TV at lunchtime. We used to all play SmackDown 2, and one of my mates had the PlayStation 1 multi-tap, and I had a memory card with all our characters on it. Awesome. But you know, that's such outdated technology now, you know, plugging in a wire to add extra controllers and things. But yeah, I guess we'll watch this space. Anyone want to make a prediction on here, what they think the VS is before we move on?
Cable.
Yeah. I reckon it is going to be a home console. I think it's a silly move, but I reckon it'll be a home console or something to plug into a TV, like a standalone.
I reckon it might be 2 controllers you can plug into your Evercade. So you like stand your Evercade up, and then you can have 2 players.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how the VS will fit into it, but I don't know. It might just be a slightly better version of the original console. Like, I don't know, they're not using tape to tape things up on the inside anymore or something. Just I don't know, just something that's a little bit better. It's worth an extra £5 or something.
Yeah, that seems fair.
And Neil's put a prediction in. I think they're trying another cable. So, okay, well, when we're next here in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to discuss what the Evercade VS is, and we'll look back on these predictions and see if any of us were right.
Mhm.
And we always tend to finish episodes on this, and I've not really got much to say on the Amico this week because I don't know if any of you guys have got much to say in a minute. But on the next show, we've got Sneztastic, the Amico kid, joining us, who's possibly the UK's biggest subscribed Amico in television YouTuber. So be sure to join us for that one and get all your Amico related questions in, because I'm sure between the panel we're going to have plenty of questions for him. But has anyone got any updates on the Amico since we last got together? How about you, Si? What's your thoughts on the Amico in television?
It's quite expensive for what it is. Pretty much agreeing with what you lot said the last few weeks, really. It's a good idea and fair play for trying it, but for a little bit extra, you could get a Nintendo Switch, which is like that's a no-brainer, really, if that's the kind of sort of market you're going for. And I don't know, I could be wrong in thinking that it's a console that it's about getting together with your mates or with family or whatever at home, play some games together on the TV. Now, if I was going to do that, me personally, I'd just go and pick up an old Nintendo Wii. So I think that was the console that really, really kicked that off again and got people who weren't necessarily into games. So yeah, I'll just be looking at get a Wii. I reckon for that price, I could probably pick up a decent Wii with a load of accessories and fairly decent games. So yeah,
it's a weird one. I think the I can't remember the guy's YouTube channel again, but the chap that we're going to have on in a couple of weeks. He put a really good point across. I think it was one of the things that made us reach out to him and ask him, "Oh, do you want to come on and chat about the Amico?" Because he's quite positive about it, and I know that we try and be indifferent about it, but it's more likely that the console's not really much for us. So to have him on to talk about it in a totally different way will be it'd be quite refreshing, because it would be really nice to hear someone who's really positive about it, sort of speaking about it and see what he's mentioned. But I seem to remember him mention that the system price for him doesn't bother him, predominantly because there's the games that are coming out for it really interest him, and I have to say that's probably going to be the interesting one. The games that do launch with it. I know it's going to have 6. We've said it a couple of times. It's going to have 6 games come with it, I think, at launch, and then the rest of them you just either pick up or digitally or whatever the physical media is meant to be. I'm sure people have said before it's going to be like a physical media console.
I can't see how it's going to be physical media, because you look at it and it's just 2 controllers in a docking station. There's no. Yeah. Where do you put the physical media in that? There's.
No, it's strange. Like I'm just watching
USB or something.
Yeah,
get games on the USB, something like that. Some sort of gimmick like that might work.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just looking at a YouTube video and on another screen here, just looking at some of the games that they're sort of touting as like their. I guess they're using this as like their sizzle reel to sort of get people excited about the games. And I don't know. There's not a lot about them that make me think I really must play this game. There's like Biplanes is one that's on there at the moment, which is just, I guess it's sort of like an aerial combat type game where you have to sort of shoot down other planes from what I'm watching at the moment. But it doesn't look like anything that your iPhone couldn't do. I mean, I'm sure it's going to look lovely on a nice big 4K display. I'd be pretty annoyed if it didn't. But that just doesn't really get it. Breakout, I mean, it's like Pong on acid. There's just so much going on, but it is Pong. Missile Command.
Pong on acid does kind of sound quite interesting. I would
the colours
play
of
that.
the game, to be fair, it does. You look at it and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But trying to play that, you're giving yourself a headache before you've even started. I think it's just so.
Yeah,
and you can play that multiplayer as well. Imagine that with more than one ball on that screen pinging around.
it'd be
Get
hard
mad,
work.
wouldn't it?
But Missile Command looks kind of cool. I mean, that's asteroids, really. It's like an asteroids clone. The one that really is just, I mean, they should be ashamed of is Battle Tanks. I mean, whoever designed that game and went, yeah, I'm proud of that. I'd not be proud of that. I'd reconsider how proud you are of that. It just does not look good at all. What's the next one on here? Moon Patrol. Your little moon buggy trying to shoot down alien spaceships above you, and you sort of get to the next level. It's like a side-scrolling platformer, but you're in a car that's moving around quite quickly. That could be interesting. It seems like it's quite a lot of customized options from looking at the stuff that's going on at the moment.
Is there an Evil Knievel game? If I imagine that, I'm sure I've
think
seen a video.
Evil Knievel.
I do. I
Wasn't
think
there
you're
a
right.
game on the like Commodore 64 for that or something? It wasn't called Evil. Was it Evil Knievel or Stunt Racer? Or...
It was Kickstart.
Oh,
Yeah, something.
It was.
It is something like that.
Yeah, but there is an Evil Knievel one because I'm sure I've seen that.
Amazing.
Let's just jump to an advert now. So let's skip that and see what other games we've got there. There's that top-down racer one, which again, it sort of looks like a bit of a, I don't know, like a low-rent Micro Machines.
Micro Machines.
like
Yeah,
that.
was it?
Looks like that
I
Amiga
do like a
game.
top-down racer.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's again, it just doesn't. Oh, I don't know. I think it's the angle and the camera of that top-down racer. It sort of just seems to sort of the camera move a little bit like this. You sort of almost can see the whole track, rather than like on Micro Machines or something where you'd only be able to see up to a point, and you'd still have to like sort of use the controls to kind of But it actually has Pong on it as well. I mean, aside from having that one that I said looked like Pong on acid, you can just play Pong if you want to, which I'm not entirely sure you want to be using that as one of your selling points.
Well, funnily enough,
Pool as well.
I had a demo disc for the PlayStation 1, like a couple of decades ago. That Pong was on that, like sort of graphics up Pong, so you have like a football pitch background and like an ice hockey background and stuff, and actually sort of like quite addictive. But, yeah, something like that might be all right. I wouldn't pay 225 quid for it, but
no. There's a dice game, Farkle. I'm not swearing or trying to be weird. I have no idea what Farkle is. I'm sure there's someone somewhere that will be able to tell me what that game is, but that just looks very strange.
There's a bomb one I've seen, Bomb Squad or something.
Yeah, that's probably the one that interests me the most. But again, I've not seen it working, and I think it is just a case of it that somehow intuitively uses the controller and the touch screen. How it does that, I don't know. Might be interesting to see how that one works. But that could be cool. You are, I guess, from that dismantling a bomb. So there'll be cut the red wire and move this dial around here, do something else with it. But yeah, that could be cool, especially if there's like time pressures on that. That could be quite interesting. It's just nothing. There's a few games that do look like they could be quite good. They do look like they could be quite interesting. There's a lot of kids games on there as well, which could be good if you're wanting to try and appeal to a wide market as well. So if you've got an Amico and you want your little kid, I think there's a Sesame Street game that's coming out for it. So they're trying to broaden that appeal. That Stunt Racer game's just kicked in. Let's see what that's called.
Evil
It is evil.
It is Evil Knievel.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Is it?
Yeah, it's Evil
Amazing.
Knievel. That looks like it could be quite amusing. That looks like a side-scrolling version of like Joe Danger on the PlayStation. Yeah, looking at this could be quite good fun. It sort of looks like a mixture of like Joe Danger and Trials Fusion. So yeah, that could be interesting.
Cool. Well,
Not-
next time we'll have, well, as I said, UK's biggest Amico and television YouTuber, Sneztastic, join us. So I'm sure by the end of that, we'll all have one on pre-order after speaking to him, and he's give us his sales pitch. But it'd be interesting to pick a fan's brain about this and what his feelings are and what he's really looking forward to. So don't forget to tune in. Oh,
so I did read somewhere that I think it was a crowdfunder page or something like that, but they've made $12 million for the Amico.
Really?
12 million. Whoa.
Yeah, I read. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw like they did like a Kickstarter or wherever it is, crowdfund page. It's up to $12 million, which is pretty impressive. So whether Tommy Tallarico gets all of that or not, I don't know.
So we got 12 million divided by 250. So that's like 48,000 units that could make, or that's worth 48,000 units. So I mean, that if that's your pre-order, I mean that's a pretty good pre-order for a system that's quite niche.
So, but in their factory, they had 2 people making the consoles, didn't they?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, they're going to be doing some long hours, aren't they, trying to get those consoles made?
Get some overtime in on that, I think. But
try and calculate that. An hour Amico, 48,000, 2 people working on it. If anyone can work that out, please put it in the comments, and that's how long that will take them to.
Yeah. Boss can have a day off. No.
Okay, well, keep watching future episodes, and we'll keep you updated on the progress of the Amico. Well, before we go, we've had a few questions come in. We just do quick answers on these questions. So we've got from Tim Morgan. Hi, Tim, who was our guest last week. What do you think are worse, movies based on games or games based on movies? Any good examples?
Ooh,
good question.
There's quite a few bad movies based on video games.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
I like the
Fighter's
first
awesome.
I like
Resident
the first
Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
They're not great.
They're
not great.
The Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, there it is.
The Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Movie.
that wasn't.
I actually quite like Prince of Persia, the film. I do quite like that.
It's a bit of Disney fun.
Disney, though,
it's, it's harmless watch. I did enjoy that.
I quite like Need for Speed when that came out. I thought that was quite a cool film.
I think this new Mortal Kombat Friday.
That looks great. I think the definitive game to movie adaptation though that worked is Silent Hill. I still think Silent Hill, the movie, is a fantastic movie.
I think it was Mario Brothers.
Oh my god, the movie where Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they've said in interviews the only way they got through making that movie was just to be drunk on set all the time. Shocking.
Quite like the first Resident Evil.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
first one's all right.
There's a bloke who looks like Tim Henman in it, and I just didn't get past him.
Yeah,
I don't know the actor's name, but he just looks like Tim Henman, and that's all I remember.
What is his name?
He's an actor. He's in Glee as well.
Yeah, and also I remember
Ugly Betty.
He was the lead character.
I forget
the lead character in like one of the Crow films
The Rock
as well. I want to say, is his name Eric Mabius? I want to say Eric Mabius.
Possibly, I
could be completely wrong.
I think.
I like the first Resident Evil film. I really enjoyed that.
I think game to movie or movie to game adaptations are better than game to movie adaptations.
There's been some crap movie to games.
Ghostbusters sticks out for me. Ghostbusters on Xbox 360, PS3, and the remaster they did for PS4. Phenomenal. That is basically Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah. The Matrix.
GoldenEye. I quite like
the recent one. Sonic the Hedgehog. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that.
That was good. That was surprisingly good actually. I went in for that just expecting it to just be, fart jokes and stuff, and it actually turned out to be a really decent movie. Jim Carrey coming back to his his form as well.
Definitely. And Tomb Raider films.
They're not bad, are they? They're kind of cool. They're sort of like little guilty pleasures. Those Tomb Raider movies. They tried rebooting that as well, didn't they? Quite recently, or say recently, within the last 4 or 5 years, that wasn't quite so good. Considering the newer Tomb Raider games are fantastic, it just felt like they missed a mark there.
Well,
Did you
my family are
realise
waiting for that new Mario that's coming out by Minions people that are doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
I think that'll be very good because they do make some good animation.
Yeah, that could be very cool.
There's a new Resident
you know
Evil
there was a-
series coming out as well.
Oh yeah, Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a Resident Evil series and they're rebooting the Resident Evil films as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
be interesting. They should really go for the movies based on the games, though. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That first movie is just that first game. Sorry, it's a movie. It's there. It's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Double Dragon film. Didn't know if anyone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh
is it?
yes. Oh yes. It is.
1994.
It's pretty bad. It's up there with Street Fighter. If you watch it now, it's like a so bad it's good. Like I've got Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter, sorry, on Blu-ray because it is so dreadful. But if you watch it with a bunch of mates, get some beer and just get drunk and take the piss, it's great fun. Similar thing with Double Dragon. It's very of its time.
Also, Rampage with The Rock. Sorry, I'm looking through my phone at the moment. This is reminding me of all these films.
Someone put Rambo on the spectrum, I think, in the comments.
I'm trying to think of some recent movie to game. Sorry, I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
World
Detective
War Z.
Pikachu. There you go.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu. That's pretty good. World War Z, I really enjoyed on PS4. It's all online, but that is just like a survival. You get in a group of team, you're online, and you just have to get to the end of each level. Hundreds of thousands of zombies all running at you. That was kind of cool.
And we've got Uncharted coming out next year. Hoping
Do
that'll be
you?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, isn't it?
Tom Holland,
It
yeah.
is. Initially, you kind of think,
Nathan Drake.
and then you see the picture of him, and you're like, okay. I could go with that. He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They're doing a Last of Us TV show, aren't they? HBO.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What's the actor? The guy that played Oberon in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Pedro
yes.
Pascal.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is playing Joel, which loads of people were really like a bit like, oh, no, he's not Joel. It's like, yeah, but the guy's like a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And put a beard on him, and yeah, that'll work. And the young girl, is it Lady Jorman in Game of Thrones? She's playing Ellie, and I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I mean, it's HBO.
Yeah.
They've got budget for days, so that could be a very good TV show.
Well, I'm sure we could talk about films based on video games based on films all evening, but we've got to the end of the stream. I just want to thank Simon for joining us tonight. It's really interesting to pick your brain about the Resident Evil games. So thanks for joining us, and I'm sure we'll invite you back on again I'm sure we will definitely invite you back on again in the future. And thanks to our normal panel, and I think we're now not back for a couple of weeks, so we will see you. I think it's the 3rd of May. I think that's the Wednesday that we're back. Don't quote me on that. But don't forget to subscribe to our channel, thumbs up the video, and hit that bell. And we'll see you all soon. Take care.
Peace out.